Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Dev. Today we continue to beat the heat by working on our water gun combat game. Now last time we added friends to our water gun combat game by creating enemy AI with their own simple pathfinding and attack code. The end result was a great interpretation of Warframe's summer event, but I think we can do one better. So today we'll be focusing on randomly generated terrain, that way we can spice up the variety of where we have our water fights. We'll focus on creating a system that not only builds our battlefield, but also controls the rest of the world. And finally, we'll pretty things up a bit to get us even closer to a final product. That's the plan, a hefty one at that, so let's get to it. Between videos, I already got started on prettying up our game. All the graphics now share the same pixel density, and little shadows were added for player and enemies. And the best part, I improved the squirt effect by randomizing their shades of blue. So not only do our squirts look way better, the added spray effect is just gorgeous. But we're not here to gawk, we've got a huge task ahead of us, so it was time to move on to the terrain spawning. I started by creating our land spawning object. I wanted to go with a sort of a paint effect, with the generated terrain size changing as it moved. I started with a simple double loop, which worked great. I then tried a few different ways of spawning that block of land because I wanted something less, well, blocky. There were some interesting results, but ultimately, because I'm bad at math, I wasn't sure how to properly write a loop that would create a circular group of tiles. After a lot of time spent throwing everything I could think of at the wall, I was able to get something close to a round shape, which I then mirrored and flipped to create a full circular disc-like shape. I then moved on to the world controller. I had 4 land spawners created in the middle of the map and added some code to have them branch out from there. This worked well and the paint approach proved pretty viable, so I added some restrictions so our land wasn't drawn outside the room space and randomized the land sizes. And while it may look weird here, trust me, this is a good sign, which meant things were, thankfully, on the right track. Next, I wanted to swap out the floor objects with tiles to help optimization, but GameMaker Studio changed how tiles were handled, so I relied on the documentation to teach me. It did not teach me. In fact, I'll save you the next 45 minutes. For whatever godforsaken reason, GameMaker decided to convolute the hell out of their tiling system to an absurd degree. Long story short, my idea to replace floor objects with a floor tile to improve performance didn't seem possible, because I couldn't understand GameMaker Studio 2's new tile system, and the documentation on it wasn't very helpful. So anyway, after almost an hour of getting nowhere, I moved on. I spawned walls the entire width and height of our room and had the land spawners quote-unquote dig through the walls. Then I had any walls not touching floor tiles deleted, so we were left with just a single border around the randomly generated battlefield. After fixing my math a bit, we now had a working generator, well, despite the lame tile issues, which I wasn't ready to give up on yet, but at this point I needed a break. I came back a bit later and decided if tiles couldn't be used, I would go with a desperate alternative. I had the world builder draw a sprite for every floor object created and then hid the floor objects. I then added a water sprite that would surround our battlefield, repeating throughout the room. Then I added a variable to determine which theme the stage uses, a sand theme or a grass theme. Finally, I had the walls touching floor tiles above them draw specific edge sprites to give our level some visual depth. And there we had it, something closer to what I had originally planned from the start. As happy as I am with the results, which made the best of a bad situation, I'm not entirely happy with the performance hit. I feel this can be improved on and the floor tiles can be deleted, I just need to do more research. The tile issue really threw me for a loop, and change was so drastic that it's hard to figure out what the alternatives actually are. Regardless, there's no reason to cry over spilled milk. The alternatives aren't terrible and the visuals look great. The system works and everything spawns in as it should, which means assuming performance can hold up, we can move on to adding back our enemies and heading into the final few legs of this project. But for now, this brings us to an end of an exhausting episode of Let's Dev. So remember that if you like this video or enjoy Let's Dev in general, be sure to hit that like button. If you aren't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. And as always, be sure to leave your thoughts on our progress in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.